Hi, my name is John Whitehead. I'm an executive and leadership coach, and welcome to this week's video blog post. A little bit of a change in scenery today. I'm back in my backyard. Last few days of summer, although it's quite smoky where we are in the Okanagan Valley because we're getting the smoke coming up from the fires in California and Washington State. It's amazing how the smoke will just sit into the valley floor here. As I look up at the sun, it's kind of this orange globe in the sky. But there's definitely a feeling of fall in the air, and that's nice time as well. So this week, I was reminded of something as I was coaching one of my leaders. And I was reminded of the work of Marshall Goldsmith, and in his book, What Got You Here Won't Get You There. And one of the things he talks about is starting a sentence or starting a response with no, but, or however, those three negative words, because it came up in a conversation with a coaching client, a leader that I was coaching, and he was telling me a story of a situation he'd been in with one of his direct reports and his response. And I stopped him at one point. I said, I'm just wondering if I could just let you know what I heard there. And I want to know if I'm right. You said that you were having this conversation, and you said, and I told him what he said. I said, did that sound right? I said, yeah. I said, okay, as I was saying that, did you notice anything? And he stopped and thought about it for a while. He said, yeah, it sounded kind of negative, didn't it? I said, yeah, it did. Why do you think that was? And he said, well, I guess I said started the sentence by saying, yeah, however, I'm thinking of X, Y, Z. And I said, what's that telling the guy? And my clients took a few minutes to think about it. And this is one of the things in coaching, one of the challenges I personally have in coaches is giving people space. But you have to do that. You have to give them space to think this stuff through. So there was some silence. And he said, well, I guess I was dismissing what the fellow was saying before. And I said, that's interesting. Right? So just think about this for a second. If you're in a conversation with somebody and you say, yeah, but what are you saying? You're basically dismissing everything they've said before. You said, you know what, that's irrelevant. Right? Or you're saying, however, if you think of, you basically have dismissed the other person's idea. So how else might you say that? You know, what is the other response that you can say? You know, instead of jumping in and saying, however, I'm thinking of doing, you should be doing da-da-da-da. One of the things that you might think about is asking that person, oh, okay, that sounds like a decent idea. Can you think of another idea? Or can you think of another solution? Or you can think of another way of handling that? Or is there a different, I'm just curious whether there's a different way of handling that. And throw it back at them and get them to think of it again. You know, one of the things we talk about is if you've got a staff person that's coming to you with a problem, instead of giving them the solution, try and get them to come up with the solution. Because if they're coming up with the solution, obviously, they will take ownership of it. And they'll put more of themselves, they're more likely to put more of themselves into it. And you're more likely to get better results. And while I'm thinking about that, there is one thing that you have to remember. If you're asking somebody to come up with another solution, if it's not exactly the solution you would use, but it will get those results that you want, let them go for it. It doesn't have to be your solution. Anyway, that's just some thoughts for this week anyway, and I'd be interested to hear what your thoughts are, what your thinking is about that, and go look up Marshall Goldsmith, Google him, and take a look at some of his materials. He offers a lot of materials free of charge to not just his clients, but to everybody. And again, so thank you for reaching out to me this week, and we'll talk to you again next week. Have a great week.